Hey everybody, welcome back to Langston's Bookiverse. I know it's been quite a while since I've done a video, and that's because, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I moved. Um, so yeah, me and my family finally moved into our house that was being built. It was supposed to have been done last November, and we just moved in a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, we were the place that I was doing my recordings before was at our apartment. Was at an apartment that we'd been staying at, and yeah, and so the house is finally done. I love it. I don't know if y'all can tell how big my room is now. It's, oh my gosh, it's I love this. I freaking love this house. Um, but yeah, so that's part of the reason why I haven't been as active on here as I'd like. You know, life. But yeah, I guess the other reason, or something that also didn't help with me not with me not making a video in a while is because a lot of the books that I read over the past couple months, a lot of them were just kind of eh. Like, they weren't bad, but I guess I was kind of bored. I actually did. So, I actually made and recorded a video about all the books that I read in April. And while I was making that video, while I was talking in that video, I sort of disassociated, and I could tell. And while I was disassociated, I could tell I wasn't really into it. A lot of the books were just, honestly, I couldn't even remember the plot. And so I was like, why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about a book that I wasn't, that was okay, but, I guess I wasn't as interested in as I thought, and now I can't even remember the damn plot of the book. So that was the other reason. Yeah. But now I've decided to go ahead and make a video. Long time coming. Well, not long. Y'all be alright. Now I've decided to go ahead and make a video, and in this video I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of the books that I really liked, that I do remember the plot of. But these are books that I read in April and May. So with that, I guess we can just go ahead and get started. So I will say, yeah, I guess I can go back and say how many books I read. I read in the past couple months, for April and May. So for May, I'm sorry, let's go to April first. So for April, I read 8 books. And 2 of them, I can only remember 2 of them. The others were just kind of could barely remember the plot. That's not entirely true. One of them was The Host, which I think I've already done a video on. So I guess, throw that one in there. But all the others, I guess I wasn't that into it. And apparently, thinking on it now, I guess I really wasn't into it if I don't remember the plots. So yeah. So that was April. For May, I read 9 books, and I am only going to be talking about 2. I'm going to be talking about 2. Oh, wait, no, 3. I just remembered. I forgot to open this one up. So, yeah. I'm going to be talking about 3 books. Yeah, again, all the other ones were kind of meh. Couldn't really remember the plot so much. And I didn't feel like reading through a synopsis, because I could tell that I wasn't into it. So I'm just not gonna talk about those books. Yeah. It's my channel. I can do what I want. But so yeah, so that's how many books I read in May. So I guess with that, we can go ahead and now we can go ahead and get started. So one of the first books I read was Nosferatu by Joe Hill, and Kate Mulgrew is the narrator. I gave this book 3.5 stars. I thought it was really good. I really had fun with it. I don't think I've ever really read. I don't think I've ever really read a what's the word I'm thinking of? A horror novel before. I'm trying to remember the last time. Well, no, there's Scary Stories You Read in the Dark, but that's that's the only book I can think of that I've read that was a horror novel. And that was like when I was a kid. So yeah, it's been a minute. But this was a really cool story. And there's a little bit of like fantasy in it too, which I really liked. So basically, it's about this girl, Victoria McQueen, who she finds that she develops this power to go almost anywhere she wants with her bike. So the book starts out is she's a little girl, and she first discovers this power. She grows up in not so great of a home, and one of the ways she finds out about this superpower is her parents are arguing about where I think I can't remember exactly, but they lost something while they were moving, and so they were arguing about that, and the little girl decides that she's gonna go back into their old house and find it. So she hops on her bike, and then she travels across a bridge that disappears, or that appears, and gets the thing and comes back. And she tries explaining it to the adults in her life, but they all pretty much gaslight her and say that's not what really happened. You're imagining things. She actually, I believe she actually gets diagnosed with like a severe mental health issue because people think that she's lost her mind. So it's really great. So what ends up happening is she finds out about this vampire who kidnaps kids and takes them into his own like world. It's this guy who has his own superpower. He's basically a vampire. So he kidnaps kids, takes them to his own little world, and basically feeds off of their life energy. And he can live, and he, like a vampire, he sort of lives forever as long as he can keep feeding. So she eventually has to take him on for reasons. I don't know if I want to say why, but I mean, no, I'm not gonna say it. You gotta read it. But yeah, it's really good. It had a lot of it. It had some tense moments. I really liked. I liked the flow of the story. I think I only gave it 3.5 stars because I think I stopped reading it for a little bit because I had some other stuff going on and then had to pick it back up. And so I guess in between those 2 times, I got confused about the plot. So yeah, now I kind of feel like 3.5 stars wasn't a good, was an unfair review. So I might change that. But yeah, that's Nosferatu. I will put the book covers for all the books up probably here somewhere above my ZZ plant. You like my ZZ? Oh shoot. It's grown a lot since I got it. But yeah, so that was Nosferatu. And I also like how it's spelled. Like it's spelled, instead of like the traditional, like a normal Nosferatu, it's NOS4A2. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, and there's a reason why it's named that, and I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna get into it. Maybe I will do a deep dive about this book. I think I am. I'm gonna make a video about this book because it was really good. Yeah, I think I might change my star rating too because I enjoyed it. I think talking about it made me realize how much I liked this book. Um, that's awesome. Okay, so the next book that I read, I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. Starships Mage Omnibus. This was such a dope story. You have sci-fi, you got magic and mages doing stuff, you got pirates, you got like not a corrupt government, but like actually I think they are kind of corrupt. Actually, yeah, I think they are a little corrupt. But yeah, so basically, in this book, it takes place in the far future. Humanity has spread out to multiple planets in multiple galaxies, multiple solar systems. Let's say that. Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, I'm assuming they're all in the same galaxy. But yeah, so humans are all over the place, out in space, and the only way to travel from planet to planet is to teleport, and the only way to teleport is with a mage. So the mage casts their spell, and then your starship is teleported into whatever solar system you're trying to get to. So the main character, Damien Montgomery, he's just graduated from like the Mage Academy. He grew up pretty poor, and he was excited that he was found out to be a mage because that way he could build a life for himself, and actually, start making some money and not get out of poverty. So he joins the Starship crew, and the crew is actually being chased by pirates. They actually need a mage because their last mage was killed while they were trying to escape the pirates. So he's their new mage, and he, at first he doesn't really know what's going on with the crew, like why they're being chased. But honestly, he doesn't really care because he's like, bruh, I need the money, and I want a nice place to sleep at night. Which I feel you, I understand. But yeah, but it's one thing I really like about this book is you really get a sense of like the characters in the book. Like they do a really did I say the author? Sorry, Glenn Stewart and Jeffrey Coffer is the narrator. One thing that I really like what Glenn did with this book is I really got to know a lot of the characters. Like even though I'm pretty sure, I know it's been a little while since I read the book. Excuse me. But I believe a good chunk of the book is from the main character Damien's perspective. Especially towards the beginning. I think so. Well, I take that back. You do get to, there is some perspective hopping in this book, and I think that's what I think I liked about it, because you can sort of get in their heads, get their perspectives. So you not only do you get the perspective of the main character Damien, but you also get the perspective of the ship captain. You even get the perspective of the main antagonist in the story, which I thought was really, really cool. And this is part of a series. I cannot wait to read the rest of it. It was just so fun. Yeah, 5 stars. Yeah, I loved it. Next book I read was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my god, I love this book so much. I think, who told me about this? It was another booktuber. Um, it might have been. It might have been Jess from Books and Bowties. Um, I think it was. I think it was her. Sorry, it was them. Um, um, yeah. Um, y'all, this book was good. I did not. I did not expect to have the feelings that I had for this book. This is like a historical. It's like a historical fiction. Yeah, like historical fiction um, romance, which I think I've said on this channel before. I'm I'm not really a romance reader, and I loved this book. It was just so compelling. I forgot to include the narrators. Alma Cuervo is one. Julia Whalen is another, and Robin Miles is the third narrator. So, yeah, I have to like, yeah, sorry, get myself ready because I'm fanboying over this book right now. Um, so this story starts out with this woman, Monique, who is she works for a magazine, I believe. Let's see, sorry, I'm gonna skim the thing real quick. Yeah, I think she works as like a magazine, or she's a journalist. And I think she does work at a magazine, something like that. But so she gets offered this great opportunity to interview this like super famous reclusive Hollywood actress, Evelyn Hugo. And everyone at her job is wondering why, her boss is wondering why, because they're like, I mean, she's wondering why, because she's like, I don't know her. So, like, she's like, this is great, but I don't know her. I don't know why she would want me specifically, but no, Evelyn wants her for this interview. Come to find out, Evelyn does not want an interview. Evelyn wants a biography. So Monique ends up listening to her stories about her 7 husbands, why she got married so many times. And Monique gets to make not an autobiography necessarily, but like a biography. And she is blown away because in this world, in this historical fiction world, Evelyn Hugo is like a huge deal. Like, and she doesn't talk to anyone. She doesn't talk to any press. She hasn't in forever. But yeah, so I might have to make a thing about this too, because it was so good, y'all. Just the ups and downs of every relationship she was in. And I want to say something, but I feel like I feel like I'd be spoiling it, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut about that. Oh, just go read this book, please. It's so good. And I didn't. I'm trying to decide if I want to say this or if it's going to be a spoiler. I don't actually. You know what? I don't think it's going to be a spoiler because you find out pretty early on. I did not expect this to be a queer story, and I thought that was so dope. because I mean the title of the book, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, um, I and it was just so good. There's just so much in there about the experiences of queer people in the what decade was that? In the 1950s. It was just so cool to hear to hear multiple experiences of multiple queer people in that time period. And it's just written so well. Like, oh my god, Alma Cuervo, she did a great job narrating. I think she narrated most of the book. I think the two other narrators, excuse me, uh, voiced. I think the other two other narrators voiced the two other characters voiced specific specific people, I believe. But the narration was just phenomenal. I was so sucked into this book. I was just like, oh my god, what is going to happen next? I need to know. I love this book, in case y'all couldn't tell. Okay, but so yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. Actually, I have more to say about that, but I'll make another video of this book because I loved it so much. In case you couldn't tell, or in case you didn't hear me the first 3 times. But okay, the next book that I wrote, not that I wrote, I didn't write this. The next book that I read was The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. I was continuing the Kingkiller Chronicles. I liked this book too. I give it a 4-star. So we're picking up right where Kvothe ended in the first book. And I like how the story moves away from him at school and dealing with being an alchemist in the outside world. So he gets this amazing opportunity. He decides to leave school for a while, like a sabbatical, just take off for a semester. I guess what we would call a semester or something, or like a year. I think it was like a year or two, because of what happened in the first book. So he ends up going to this other country that's pretty far away, and because he gets sort of recruited by the mayor of one of the major cities in the country, and the mayor, it's sort of known that the mayor holds all the power in this country. So he's essentially being requested by the king, by the unofficial king. And so at first he's only there to serve as as a musician. He hasn't told anyone about the fact that he's an alchemist. I think this is said in the first book too, but alchemy is is really frowned upon in this world. It's sort of seen as like demon magic or something, or like witchcraft with like a negative connotation. But yeah, so he hides that. But then he ends up I'm having a hard time not spoiling these books. He ends up helping out the mayor, and it's a great story. He ends up reuniting with the girl that he's fallen in love with. So there's like some romance in there, and then he does some stupid crap that I'm like, why did you say that to her? Ugh, I was so mad at him for that. That's how you know you like a book, when you get mad at the main character for doing something stupid. That's why I just finished reading. I just finished reading The Songs of Achilles, and that book was so good and sad. I was mad at one of the characters towards the end. I was like, why the fuck would you do that? But sorry, I'm getting off topic. So yeah, that was the wise man's fear. One thing I'm so curious to know is, because we haven't caught up, so in case you're sort of new to this series, the book is almost like it's a story within a story. So this is present day Kvothe, telling a story of his life to Chronicler, this dude who chronicles shit. So, and they touch on it a good bit in the first book, but Patrick really presses this in the second book, that obviously that whatever Kvothe's plans were, they did not end well. And that is the reason why he is working as an innkeeper in like a small village in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And so it's like we almost got there. I feel like at the end of the book, we almost got to what the hell happened. Why are you so sad? Why do you have no magic? That's not a spoiler. I think it's in the first book too. Like you see in the first book, he has no magic. He can't do any magic. But yeah, it's like almost there. And I'm like, why is he so sad and depressed now? What freaking happened? So I am hoping that we'll get answers in the third book. I've also heard that it might be a while for the third book to come out. Oh wait, no, is it? No. Doors of Stone? Sorry, I'm looking up the thing right now. Okay. Maybe I was thinking of... Maybe it's the fourth book that's taking a while. I don't know. A friend told me... I told a friend I was reading the series, and he told me that the writer is taking a long time, that Patrick Rothfuss is taking a long time to write to continue the series, but I think he's actually having... I think Patrick's actually going through some mental health problems. So yeah, it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? I'd rather him never finish the book and be well than for him to rush through the book or finish the book and him be miserable, you know. But yeah. So yeah, that was Kingkiller Chronicles. I think there are some like mini. It looks like I'm scrolling through the series list on Storygraph, but it looks like there's like some mini novellas. Jesus, looks like there's some novellas or short stories in this world too. So I'm gonna have to check those out. Okay. Excuse me. Last book. I've been talking for a while. The last book that I read was Three Dark Crowns by Kendari Blake. This was so... this was so interesting. I can't remember who told me about this. Who told me about this book? It might have been Jess again with Books and Bow Ties, or it might have been it might have also been Jess Owens from Jess, where's your channel on my list? Oh no, her channel is Jess Owens. I'm just dumb. Um, but yeah, it was one of the Jesses. One of the Jesses. I think had mentioned this in one of their videos. So I was like, ooh, add to list, adding that to my reading list, and I'm glad I did. I really enjoyed it. I have one thing. This is a young adult novel. I've slowly been moving away from young adult novels lately because I just haven't been as into them as I used to. I think, I don't know, I'm old. I just turned 30 like a week ago. So but I think I used to read more young adult novels when I was like in my late teens, early 20s. I could get into a really good young adult novel. But now some of the ones I've been reading are just like, kind of, just it's not hitting for me. But this was an exception, and I'm glad because it was really, really good. So I'm gonna get into the plot. I feel like I'm rambling too much, but oh well. You know what you came here for. You know what you signed up for when you click play. But so this book is about 3 girls, they're triplets, who, in order to become the next queen of this island, they have to kill each other. So that instantly I was like, oh shoot, okay, dang. And they have to use, and they're expected to use their gifts, or like their powers or whatever, to kill the other 2 princesses, they call them. So one of the princesses, everybody is like, oh, she finna win. Like, she has like elemental magic, and she's really, really strong. Like, she's really solid in her powers. And so everybody, like, the rumor around the island is that she finna win. Mirabella is her name. She's like, oh, Mirabella's got this. She finna kill them. She finna shoot electricity at them, and it's gonna be a wrap. And that's also because the other 2 princesses don't really have a good handle on their gifts. It seems like they don't have gifts at all, really, or like their gifts haven't yet manifested. And so you really end up seeing a lot of like the politics of this whole event. There are suitors that come, princes from other countries on the mainland, that come to court the princesses, and the princess who's left alive chooses who she will make her king, and then they'll get married. They'll have another set of triplets, and then the cycle starts all over again. It's so interesting. I am really excited to see where the rest of the story goes, because it ends on a cliffhanger. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. How many books are there? I forgot. I didn't count. Ooh, there's like 4. I got 3, y'all. I got 3 more books to read. Oh, and there's like 2 novellas too, or short stories too. Ooh, y'all, I'm gonna have fun with this series. It's gonna be dope. But yeah, that was Dark Crowns. I can't remember who narrated this book. I'll find it and I'll post it somewhere around here. But yeah, so that's all the books that I read in April and May. Let me know what you guys think. Have you guys read any of these books too? fan with me. If gush over these books with me in the comments if you have, because all these books are just so phenomenal. It sucks that they were broken up by a bunch of other books that I didn't like, but that's fine. That's just, hey, it happens when reading. But yeah, let me see, anything else I should say before I go? I don't think so. Dang. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe I might try to do another booktube tag. Just I'll see what's out there. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Oh, I just remembered. Thank you so much to the woman who gave me a shout out on her channel. What is her name? Y'all put it all up in my comments. Yeah, because when I came back, I was like, oh dang, I got a lot more followers now. What the hell happened? I was like, what happened? But yeah, oh shoot. Okay. I'm probably gonna stop the video right now, and through the magic of editing, I'm gonna come back after I find out who this woman is. Okay, so I've found the woman who gave me that shout out. Thank you so much, MJ, from Reading This Life. Definitely go look at her channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for the shout out as like a booktube newbie. This was really nice, and thank you all so much for the people who came over from her channel to mine. I really appreciate all your kind words. It was really nice. It was a really nice surprise. So yeah, you guys, yeah, made me feel like, oh, okay, I'm doing something right. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much again. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all for now. So I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.